So this is how to add products to your website. So you're going to scroll down to products. You're going to click on add products. Now, Lave allows you to sell physical products, and you can sell digital products such as ebooks, courses, tickets, any type of digital product. You can also sell that. But for this example, I'm going to go with physical products. So yeah, so now over here, this is where you add your product image or your product video. So we're going to click on add image. So now I'm going to select the images to add to my product. So I'm going to add another image. So you can add more images so that a customer can see what the product actually looks like. So let's add one more. Perfect. So now you can also change the arrangement of the product images. So if you want the other image to show first, you can just click on the sort images and then you can just change the positioning. Just drag it anyhow you see fit. So perfect. Okay, so the active button is to make the products visible on your website. So if you want to hide it from your customers, you just click on the button in order to disable it. Okay, but if you want to show your website, you just click on it. So I'm going to enable it. So now enter the name of your product. So for example, in this product, I'm going with, let's say, Nike Air Force. And I enter the price of the product. So let's say this product costs 500 cedis. Now, if you want to show a striked out price for like a discount, you can also show it. So you can type in the discount price. So let me show you how the discount price looks like on your website. So this is an example of how your striked out price looks like. Okay, so if you want to input the discount price, you can see the price has been crossed out. So instead of 300 cedis, the customer will pay 200 cedis. So if you want to input discount price, you can do that. But I'm not going to do that for this example. Okay. If I have unlimited stock, that means that the product is always in stock. So I can click that. But for this example, I'm just going to input 20 as a limited stock. Now over here, enter a short description of the product. So let's say, so Nike Air Force for men. So now in the main description, it's optional. So if you want, you can enter a more detailed description. So now over here, you can group your product into collections. So collections are helpful when you want to segment your product. So let's say I want to create a collection for men's shoes, right? So let's just name this men's shoes. All shoes that are for men, we'll just put them under this category. So it makes sorting your products very easy. So let's just add this. And you can add as many collections as you want. So you can select another one or you can create a new collection. So let's just create a new one called, let's just say maybe new arrivals. So now with variants, assuming let's say you sell something like shoes, you have different sizes, you have different colors, right? You can create variants for them. So that, for example, let's say like this Nike shoe, for example, let's say I have size 34, right? Instead of me to go and create a new product all over again, I can just say, you know what, I have this particular Air Force, there's size 34 over there, there's maybe red one over there, maybe there's black one over there. So now the way to click on add variant. So now we're going to create an option. So let's create size. All right. So size will be like, we have small, let's say we have medium. So you add this based on the product that you are selling. But if you don't have it, if your product doesn't have variants, there's no need for you to add it. Okay. So now let's do large. So now let's say we have colors. So we have colors. So let's say we have a red color. Say we have black or something. So that's it. So now we're going to click on generate variants, and this will generate all the combinations for us. So as you can see, we have all the product combinations created. So we have the small red, we have the black version, we have the medium red version, we have the medium black. So now let's say I have small red, right? Let's assume maybe I have a picture for the red one in particular and you want to show it, you can also add that over here. And if you want to add more details, you can do that over here. If you have a different stock for this particular variant, you can also do that over here. If you have a different price and you want to share discounts for it, you can also do that all over here. So I'm not going to do that for this example. So So forms allows you to collect more information from your customers. You can add additional questions. You can create add-ons using forms. So now just for demonstrative purposes, let me just click on add form. Now you need to select a field type when you're creating your form. So let's say what I want to ask is maybe a question. So that would be a text field. So let's say, what is your height? So you would ask the relevant question. This is just for demonstrative purposes. So and you can make the option part required. So your customer will be forced to fill this part. Okay. So let me just add this form. Now I'm going to add another form for a selection. Now I want them to select whether they don't want the shoe to come in maybe a gift box. So let's say, do you want it in the shoe box? So there'll be an option for yes. So maybe let's assume maybe the shoe box will cost extra 10 cedis. I can add that here. Then I'm going to add another option for no. So maybe no doesn't cost any money at all. So let's just add this. We're going to add this form. So now let's just add a checkbox so that you can see what you can create. Okay, so now let's just say maybe include socks. So assuming maybe the shoe will come with a socks, I can just say maybe no socks, right? So that means that there'll be no socks. Or I can say maybe, do you want one socks? Maybe one socks costs extra 5 cedis. Maybe let's say maybe two socks. Maybe that will cost 7 cedis. So again, the options you can create are limitless. You understand? So you would have to know what to come up with. So with the forms, okay, you select the field types. So if maybe you want people to just input only numbers, then you select a number as your type. Do you understand? And let's say maybe you want people to input a text, then you select text as a field type. Do you understand? And if you want them to input, maybe you want to take a date, maybe when do you want it, or some sort of date that is relevant to your product, then you can select date as your input type. So the form would be based on what input type you want. So if you want selections, that's when you use the checkbox and the selection for if you want customers to like select an option. So that's that with forms. Sections allows you to add content blocks to your product page. So for example, let's say I want to have a section for charts and size so that the customer can easily know what size and charts are available. So now let's just create a section. Let's just call it sizes and charts. So now you can enter the details here, but because I'm lazy, I'm just going to upload an image. So as you can see, so these are my size and charts that I've uploaded. So I'm just going to add this section. And you can add as many sections as you want. So for example, let's say maybe how to use the shoe section. I'm just giving an example. Let's say how to maybe wear the shoe, how to wear the shoe. Then you can just add some descriptions on how to wear the shoe. So you have to use sections in relation to your product. So I'm not going to save this. So I can add related products. So related products are products such as you may also like. So you can just select maybe products from your store that are related to this product. So maybe let's just select this. I'm just going to select something so that you just see how it looks like. So now let's click on more options. So now if you want to redirect customers to a link after they've made payment, okay, let's assume maybe you want to redirect them to a file or something, then you can add that link. So this for people who mainly sell maybe digital products and maybe you want to redirect them to a link or somewhere else after they make payment, you can do that over here. And now you can change the call to action. So the button, do you want it to be add to carts? Do you want it to be buy now? You can change that over here. Over here, too, you can edit your SEO. So you can give a title and a description that will be relevant to search engines such as Google so that customers can easily discover your products. You can do all that here. So I'm just going to click save. So now let's just preview the product to see how it looks like. So You can see it's nicely done. So these are the product images that we added. Our customers can go through the images. Okay. You can see that I can click on the image to see the image. You can also zoom in to see the image properly. So now remember we added variants. So these are the variants. So if maybe I want the medium one, they can just click on medium. So now these are the product forms. So it says what's your height. So I'll just enter my height. And remember we added socks. So let's say I don't want any socks. Okay. I can check that. But now let's say I want one socks. You can see that the price went from 50 to 55. Okay. So this is to create add-ons. So I'm just going to select no socks for here. And now do you want it in a shoe box? Okay, so now we're just going to select yes. So if you can see that if I select it, the price will go up by 10 cedis. Currently the price is 50 cedis. If I select yes, you see that the price has gone up by 10 cedis. So I can select, if I select no, it goes back. So that's how you use product forms. So now here, this is the product description. This is the size and chart section. And then this is the you may also like or related products. So that's how simple it is. So your customer can just click buy now to buy this product.